Welcome to the Mama Transform podcast. I'm your host, Jamela Waller, and this show is dedicated to a single mission: helping women design a life that feels as good as it looks. As a two-time founder, former VP of operations, and a mom of four, I spent years being the capable one everyone relied on while running on fumes. Everything I share here is designed to help you build a life that can actually hold who you're becoming, not just get you through the week. Let's get into it. Today, I wanted to talk about something that is hard to name when you're in it. And the reason it's hard is because it's not like your life is breaking down or you're in crisis. It's almost like this quiet moment when you look at the life that you've built, and a part of you is so proud: the career, the family, the routine, all of it. But you realize it doesn't fit who you are or who you're becoming anymore. And nothing went wrong. You just outgrew it. And everything essentially is still working. You're still showing up. You're still the one that everyone counts on, but something shifted. And I want to tell you about when this happened for me, because I think a lot of you are in the season right now, but you don't have the language for it yet. And so on the outside, my life looked essentially perfect. I was running several teams. I was showing up. I checked all the boxes, still hitting all the goals. And from the outside looking in, everyone thought I was fine and I looked fine. And honestly, I was, and I was handling everything. And that's the thing about being the capable one. You can keep performing long past the point where it stops feeling like yours. And what happens when you're the capable one or the strong one, nobody checks on the strong friends. No one checks on the one that has it all together. And nobody asks if you're good because you always look good. And you don't ask for help either, because why would you? You got it all covered, right? You got it. You're capable. You've built an identity around being capable and reliable. And but underneath all the perfect facade, I was exhausted. And it wasn't the kind of exhaustion where you just need to take a little power nap. There was a level of disconnection, and I was kind of going through the motions of life. I felt like when I woke up, I was already behind before my feet even hit the floor. And I would wake up, first thing I would do was check my work emails, and highly do not recommend. Don't do that. Do not do that. And I would spend the whole day managing everyone else's everything. And by the end of the day, I'd look back and think, what did I even do for myself? And almost every day, it was almost nothing. Like every single day, nothing. And I tried to fix that feeling the way that I fix everything, just more effort. And as you know, I've worn the badge of hardest working person in the room for quite some time. And I thought, if I could just get an hour more of sleep, I'd be fine. Or maybe I needed a better morning routine. So let me optimize that. Or maybe I just need to wake up a little earlier. Or no, you know what it is? I need more discipline. I need the grit. But that wasn't what was happening. And my body was telling me I had been in go mode for way too long. And even at night, when I finally sat down, my brain just would not shut off. I would lay down and try to end my day with gratitude, but within seconds, I would start taking a mental tally of everything that I had to do tomorrow. And the list never got shorter, it just shifted, and new items just replaced old ones. And then came the guilt. And that was the worst part. I would beat myself up over what I didn't finish, even if I checked off 10 things and it was actually technically, by the definition, a productive day. Then I'd treat myself to a show. We know what this binge watch Netflix, stay up too late, wake up exhausted, do the whole thing again. It was almost like I hadn't earned the right to rest yet. And right there, that belief that rest had to be earned was my trap. Because by whose standards? Who told me this? When was enough enough? And for me, it was never enough. And there was always one more thing that I had to do. And then one day it hit me. It wasn't really about capacity, it was more about alignment. And I wasn't doing too much, I could handle it. And it was that I was doing too much that didn't align who I was actually becoming and who I actually was at the time. And I had been living by all of the external rules, meeting everyone else's expectations. It just didn't fit anymore. And it didn't fit who I was becoming. And so that's different from burnout. That's different from being overwhelmed. You can have true rest and get out of burnout. You can't rest your way out of misalignment. And if you're driving in the wrong direction, stopping to rest just means you'll start driving in the wrong direction again, just with more energy. And my body knew it before my brain did. And think about that. Your body's always telling you the truth before your mind catches up. And so if something feels off, it probably is, even when you can't name it. And so my body had been trying to tell me for a while, and I just wasn't listening. I was clenching, it was the strangest thing. I'd be clenching my fists without even realizing it. And I looked like I had been playing the guitar. Like I was literally gripping onto something. My jaws were tight. I was carrying the tension and I didn't even realize was there. And it was almost like I was holding on to a previous version of me because I had built my life around her. And it was that version of me who measured her self worth by how much I got done. And my body hadn't caught up to the fact that I didn't wanna live that way anymore. And when I finally noticed it, when I caught myself gripping the steering wheel or gripping my fist for absolutely no reason, holding the tension in my shoulders all day long, I realized, like, this is not stress. This is not from stress, it's misalignment. My life didn't match who I was becoming, and my body was screaming. So I decided to do something I never did before. I put myself on the calendar. Because when I looked at my calendar and I realized none of this was mine, work meetings, kids' activities, doctor's appointments, errands, other people's priorities, I wasn't on my own calendar. And someone who I live by my calendar, by the way. And if it's not there, it doesn't exist. So any appointment to do anything, if it doesn't live on the calendar, it might as well just not exist. And I block time for me first. So before anyone else got to my week, I put me on the calendar first. And it was never at the end of the day when I was exhausted because if you put yourself on the calendar at the end of the day when you're not your best, you likely won't get to it. And when someone tried to take it or not even tried to take it, but tried to schedule something during that time, I would always just say I'm not available then, and I didn't give an explanation, I didn't apologize, I'm just not available. And, what's funny when you start setting boundaries, the world never ends, and I talked about this in last week's episode. Nobody fell apart, and everything still gets handled, and you just feel so much better because you're not overextending yourself, and that me and the boundary setting was a most definitely a game changer. And so, for the first time in a long time, I was on my own list. And here's what I had to learn the hard way. And again, my ultimate goal for all of this is to make sure that you don't have to learn the hard way because I feel like in my almost 38 years of life I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way. And if I can be a voice or a anchor for someone else to not have to live some of the lessons I lived or have support along the way when they're faced with certain things, I wanna be that. But here's what I had to learn. It's not about being burned out the way that people usually talk about it, because you're not broken and you're not weak and you haven't failed. You've just outgrown the way you've been operating, and that's okay. The life that you built was right. It was perfect for a previous version of you. And now you're just in a different season with different priorities, so you need a different system. And the real issue isn't the workload, it's a misalignment. So you're performing, it's performative. The version of success that was never fully yours to begin with. And somewhere along the way, you stop being on your own calendar. And so you could need a vacation, but it's likely bigger than a vacation. So you don't need a vacation. You don't need a better planner, a different planner. You just need to ask yourself, whose life am I running? Because if the answer isn't your own, that is where we start. And if you keep running someone else's life on your calendar, this season will never pass. It calcifies. And that quiet misalignment becomes the new normal. And then 5 years from now, you're still performing a life that stopped fitting you today. If this sounds like the season that you're in, I made something for you. It's my growth phase quiz, and it takes about 4 minutes. It'll show you exactly where you are right now because you can't fix misalignment the way that you fix a deadline. Different seasons need different approaches. And so the link is in the show notes. Take it today, and I will see you on the next one.